right, welcome everybody to session 30 of The Space Between. Nice big round number. And we'll start. See, we have the recap by Cherry tonight. Let's see, Danielle, how do you want to do this? Yeah, I didn't.
Okay,
Okay,
hey, sorry. So I just got to where I can talk again. So
okay, cool.
if y'all are up for me doing the recap now, I can do that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was just realizing, it's like, I just got talking about how you're running an errand, and then, oh, wait, she's got the
And then you
recap.
went, wait a minute.
What am I doing? So, yeah,
All right.
whenever you're ready.
All right. So session 29 recap by Cherry. Free again. So this is Cherry's latest vlog release
Mhm.
that she is putting on in the form of a recap. So here you go. Now that the information is public, I can finally share with you all the thrilling events that led to me and my fellow crewmates rescuing a pre Scream AI discovered during an archaeological dig on the planet Redacted. While we were assisting a smart and capable archaeologist. Stay tuned for more, as well as my exclusive interview with Atlas, new friend Delohenu Da. Unfortunately, we had to say goodbye to our lovely employer as she was granted the chance of a lifetime here on LU. Sarah, if you're watching this, thank you for always being such a trooper. You taught me a lot about being a tough cookie. And if you don't want my lovely gift, well, you can feel free to sell it as it's a one of a kind piece of original Cherry merch. Anyways, now that McMuscles is gone, it's left a hole in my life, also known as I'm looking for a new roommate. If anyone is interested in adventuring among the stars with yours truly and a fun crew, feel free to click the follow through link and apply. Pop up window appears in the bottom of the screen. That being said, we're getting some repairs done before we hit the road so I can finally stop tasting colors every time we make a jump. And then we've got three. That's right. You heard me. Three new jobs. I am so glad that we're finally going to get to do something, well, a little more flexible that doesn't involve stinky badgers or running from gunmen, hopefully. I mean, not gunmen. Mom, if you're watching this, that part was made up. Anyway, we are going to be able to finish those repairs and then we are going to be able to step into the void left by Uplift's unfortunate need for repairs. We're going to be helping to deliver some medical supplies much needed, and we're going to be helping some refugees find a new home away from home. I can't quite remember the third one, but I'm sure someone else has got it. It's kind of not my job. That's kind of like someone else's job. So, anyway, next time I remember the third one, I'll let you guys know. But that being said, since we have so much time here, planet side, I am going to be planning a couple meet and greets. So, click that like button, hit that little bell for notifications, and I will give you all the deets for when you can meet up with yours truly. So stay juicy, stay sweet.
Oh dear.
You're so
You're
welcome
laughing
for
a
that.
little too hard.
Oh, that was really fun. That was Yeah, Cherry is quite the handful.
This is called Danielle has watched way too many YouTubers over the past 10 years.
Hmm. One might even call her quite the basketful.
I've been called the whole stand. Thank you very much.
That's
I
right,
thought it
you
was a
have.
chair full, a bowl full of cherries, not a basket.
Oh,
I
did
don't
anybody
know.
else lose Robert?
Yeah,
Am I here?
Oh,
you are
I'm
now.
here.
did you say you
Okay.
thought it was a bowl full of cherries?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's all
Got
I'm
a
It makes
saying.
more
basket.
sense to me.
um, yeah, I was realizing we've got some. Might need to add some more sound effects to our soundboard, especially if we're gonna keep up with Cherry's little vlogs. But yeah, I think
Yeah,
I may.
definitely need a little more diversity for the soundboard.
Yeah, trying to remember how many slots there are without Nitro, but there are several. So if you guys have suggestions, send them. Ethan has submitted a couple.
Just remember, make sure they're not copyrighted.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir. Yes, sir.
start just playing snippets of Disney songs.
It's
The
me,
worst.
Mickey Mouse. I love copyright fraud.
The very best.
You saw that clip too. Yeah, I had a feeling that would be in your algorithm. But yeah, the the Mario theme.
Oh, Nintendo's the worst.
My.
Summon all
But
of
anyway.
the four horsemen of copyright infringement. All right, so we have established that you guys are going to take the time now. You had said, doing the repairs and the maintenance, assuming that it wouldn't impact the mission to Phyllis. How were you guys going to check on that, or were you just gonna forge ahead, fingers crossed?
I think we should check on it.
Okay. Do you guys just want me to tell you and we can move on, or are you wanting to
uh,
explore this in some particular way? Because I'm getting silence.
no, I'm actually fine with just if somebody, one of our crew asks what are the parameters of the delivery, what are the timetables, how in need are they? With all these questions, it's starting to sound like Eva. And then yeah, you can just tell us if what the deets are. We don't actually
Okay.
have to role play through it, unless you think it'll be an interesting scene.
I think it could be, but yeah, I'm fine with just handling it out of character.
Mhm.
Yeah, so you could reach out to the your point of contact for it. Cherry's mother had reached out. You're supposed to pick up the supplies from some other rep at a little warehouse that is operated by Uplift, but since she already had a personal connection, she was handling the details, and she lets you know that they had been hoping to make a delivery in the next week, but they understand, they've got limited options right now because their ship is extremely out of commission, and even with the delay to get your ship up and running again, they'll still be better off than otherwise. So they're still willing to pay as promised. The agreed upon rate.
But Eva is more concerned about if anybody's going to be hurt by the delay.
Yeah, so she says that most likely not. They plan, they had planned their schedule with some, excuse me, with some room for, unexpected delays or unanticipated needs to overlap so they don't run out. So it's most likely they'll be fine. Also, when the excuse me, goodness, when the time for the expected delivery comes and goes, they'll know to try to operate lean for a few days, and so yeah, doesn't think it should be a major problem. They're not they're not responding to some urgent crisis.
Okay.
It's a kind of a it's more of an ongoing charity kind of operation.
Okay. And then I think we'll go the full 12 days.
All right.
But Eva's Sage module.
Sage module. Yeah, I was gonna ask you about that because you had a lot of fun details thrown in the mix, and that sounded like the sort of thing that should not be allowed to just slip by uncommented upon.
Oh, I absolutely expect the foreman to have some incredulous words with the rest of the crew
Yes.
to ask if they know what they've been flying on.
Yeah. Some there's going to be a montage, and I think the montage would fit very well in a variety of comedy films. For over the next week and change, almost 2 weeks. But yeah, yeah, replace some aluminum siding with industry standard alloy. Yeah, that I was gonna say we've never really gone into great detail with the inside of the ship. I'd kind of not known how much to do, and try to without make it sound like I'm trying to yank the floorboards out from under you, so to speak. But yeah, it sounds like basically the inside of the ship was a mismatched kind of patchwork of various salvaged materials, some of which were the kind of materials that should have been there in the first place. But most of the time, not necessarily exactly the right, style or design of surface. It should be, so you'd have probably some floor plating on the walls in some places, stuff like that. And that's not even mentioning, some of the lower trafficked parts of the ship that were, more or less bare bones. Like, I'm picturing. I lived for a few years in our, my parents' house's basement, and we had finished my room, but a lot of the rest of the basement was not really finished. So there wasn't drywall in several places, and I'm picturing kind of like that. There are places where it's just the the scaffolding that the guts of the ship
With
are
the
visible.
exception that in place where there should be the walls, there's silver painted cardboard to make it look like there are walls.
Nice. That's great.
I
So
almost
it's a Hollywood set.
I almost put the door frame because you had gotten an incredulous response when you said that the dart embeds in the door frame.
Right.
And I almost put that in as like replace wooden door frames.
I was actually very tempted in the moment. I was about to say, yeah, that door frame was was plywood. Before, I forget who it was, said, oh, aluminum would be pretty easy to stick a dart in. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'm not gonna downgrade the doorways here.
No, I'm absolutely okay with that one in particular being like, well, Eva didn't have the right materials to make an airtight seal, so that one's wood. Hope that room doesn't depressurize.
Right. Yeah, there were definitely some hopes and prayers threaded in with the materials here and there. But yeah, I like the repair and reinstall the drill catalyst fluid module, which has been the source of
Uh-huh.
so many interesting experiences. Remove Ava's synesthetic almond grape extract sage distiller. So is that what she was using to, basically to homebrew some drill catalyst fluid?
Yeah, I remember way back at the beginning, she argued that it's way cheaper to make her own of this certain
Hmm.
fluid, and so I
Yeah,
decided
that's
that,
what I was thinking.
it was almond oil and grape extract with some other stuff.
Yeah, man, it provided a nice base. But, yeah, um, the the warning even recently pasted on it, not for drinking, as the actual grape and almond extract is mixed with a handful of toxic substances, including the oil commonly mixed into VI drinks.
There was a certain incident on the ship that prompted her to put that warning.
Yeah, yeah, the ink has barely dried on that sign. Oh yeah, there's the silver painted cardboard. Uh, install a real gravimeter and remove Ava's much less expensive dripping water sensor setup.
Remember, also fairly early on, there was a scene where I had her repairing, like she was getting into a wall to do something with a persistent drip. So
Mhm.
I wanted to hook back to that.
Nice. Another dripping water from life support modules. Oh, that's great. For the water damage, the minor water damage. And yeah, then we talked about, oh yeah, install various missing control panels previously covered with an Insta panel that was hinged for direct access to some circuit boards. Nice.
Yeah, because you got to be able to change the switches.
Oh yeah, so if the door was missing, you can't just leave it bare, so you slap something over it. Yeah, install display screens, reroute data from Eva's data slab to new screens.
There's a lot of slapped over stuff on this ship, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like the maintenance should probably take 5 days, and the repairs should probably cost 7 days. Like, I think you got it backwards, GM.
Yeah, as it happens, a lot of the stuff that Eva had, just kind of done herself, her own kind of way with whatever she had to hand, happens to also be the sort of thing that tends to get uh, freshened up in the usual course of maintenance, which has just literally never been done in the lifetime of this ship. It hasn't been done since the time that this ship was several different other ships. So
Yes.
yeah, some of these chips parts have probably had maintenance done on them at some point. But yeah,
Well,
and
even
some
at
of the
least
stuff like,
gave it a once over.
yeah,
At
um,
least.
yes, which totally counts as as a maintenance cycle.
Totally.
That's an it's not going to fall off right now review.
Yep.
But yeah, and stuff like a lot of the paneling in parts of the ship being missing or cardboard and some of those other things that I can kind of imagine as being part of the missing hit points of the ship that are getting repaired, because that would typically be, you know, pretty beefy plating that could hold atmosphere in case of the external plating being compromised in some way. Because
Sure.
you can't have a ship like this where one little hole popped somewhere depressurizes something. You got to have multiple layers of redundancy.
Yeah.
So So yeah, you've kind of been operating without that for the entire trip so far. Um, so yeah, the Swallowtail is getting a much needed tune up and refreshing. Getting a whole makeover just about. Um, so yeah, and we've covered what Eva's gonna purchase. Um, she'll be able to get the toolkit and a comm server for her cyberware. Yeah, it's not too it's not too difficult to get an appointment, especially considering the people that you know. And it's not like there's a long waiting line or anything. They've got an appointment within a couple days of your inquiry.
And I believe you had said that the panspectral optics don't necessarily need to be like obvious robot eyes.
No, not necessarily. There will be, especially. I think what I'd said before is that um, what makes sense to me is that you can consciously change what basically your view. You change the view settings more or less, because otherwise it'd be a little crazy. There'd be places, for example, on Loy Nuda, especially, if nowhere else, at the very least here, they would install them with the capability to turn off the I guess whatever, like the radio spectrum view, because otherwise you'd be getting nearly blinded all the time, if you could never turn off some of those things. Um, so yeah, what I would envision is whenever you're switching to some kind of spectrum that is not visible to the naked eye, like thermal or the there's another term that I'm just completely blanking on. Um, I guess it's probably the radio wave frequency, but I feel like there's another term that I'm blanking on. Anyway, um, I feel like there would at least be a noticeable change in the lenses, or the corneas. It doesn't have to be like glowing red robo eyes, but um, some kind of noticeable effect, to someone who's looking at your eyes.
Yeah, and I think we'd also kind of agreed that even if she's just looking at things in normal human vision, if her eyes catch the light right, or somebody happens to catch the right angle, I mean, there's
Mhm.
electronics in them that
Right.
might be noticed.
Yeah, they would be very subtle, but yeah, you could notice. A careful observer could see that her eyes have been modified.
Yeah. Okay, good. I don't know why. I don't like my character's eyes being changed. Like, if I start off wanting certain type of eyes, then obviously I'm fine with that. But
Right.
I get attached to how the character looks.
Yeah, and I think just we as people associate eyes very strongly with the person,
Oh yeah.
because like they are they're a central part of how you interact with somebody. Um, but yeah, so there's that. I did not read up on the recovery period. I don't know if you happened to have done that. Um,
um, I actually don't remember what it is. I have my own in my game.
okay. Yeah, I was trying to remember. It's been quite a while since we dealt with those. I was trying to remember if I had to homebrew something for that, or if there's kind of a default thing. I feel like the wording in the book was fairly vague. Um, Blah blah blah. Hmm. Yeah, it doesn't have anything. I think I'm fine just pretty much hand waving it and saying, at least in this case, there's plenty of there's enough time, and they've got the medical technology close to hand, and you're sticking around, so you won't have any trouble recovering from the operation and completing the round of immunosuppressants and everything that'll get your body accustomed to the addition in the time that you're sticking around and getting repairs done. So probably during the repairs and maintenance on the ship, Eva will be walking around with she'll have she'll have some fairly dark sunglasses on most of the time, especially
Oh my word.
especially in daylight, or in harsh artificial lighting, and because without those, our eyes will be a bit sensitive to light, and also uh, maybe prone to spectrum switching when she doesn't necessarily want them to. So might be doing some odd blinking or um, flinching at times when things as her body gets
Accidentally switching modes by blinking at the wrong time.
exactly. She's got to train the muscle memory, some of the internal the new stuff that's essentially new muscles that operate the little changes.
Hmm.
um
All right, so I saw that Bo also wants the panspectral optics.
oh, I didn't see that.
Was
Where did that
that
come?
was that because Eva was getting them, or was this
No,
just a
I've been
happy
looking,
accident?
and I figured that that's a good snipery thing to have.
So the anti-robot boy wants robot eyes. Got it.
He
See,
wanted to go for the body arsenal array one, but Lohainu has to be lame like that and not offer it.
now he would know. I'll say he would know that Anagris would have more options for excuse me, for cyberware, and in fact they would also. Now there's a you do have to do like a background check to get military hardware, but yeah, all the other stuff is available on Anagris. They're kind of known on the side of the sector for their cyberware.
If you got the credit, they've got the cyberware.
It's true.
Upgrades,
But
people, upgrades.
all right, so Bo is also getting himself some upgrades. Very cool. So yeah, that's going to be the sort of thing where you are probably going to have to remind me from time to time, or say that you're explicitly looking for something, because
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to forget at times to throw in mentions for stuff like that. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it's like taking the lucky feat in D&D. You got to have the note on the top of your sheet.
exactly. The GM is not going to remind you of all your capabilities. But yeah, so, and I should be able to at least more easily remember that you guys aren't really bothered by low light, and even in complete darkness, you've got thermal vision. Um, but yeah, and the radio transmissions stuff. Just to double check, you guys are both make sure we're all on the same page. That lets you see the presence of such transmissions,
Mhm.
but you can't like listen in that way.
Mhm.
Okay, cool. Um, Alrighty. So, yeah, I guess Bo is able to get in on uh, the same place. Appointment right after Narrows. Sorry, Eva's.
Cough,
And
cough.
yeah, what did I say? I didn't say anything. Um, yeah. um, so that accounts for 15,000 of each of your Danian credits or vouchers, I guess we're calling
I think we're
them.
calling them love.
And nice.
That is what I've been calling them.
Like,
Okay.
I'm assuming, because you kind of dropped it a couple sessions ago, that TC3 Atlas was like, what do you think about those armatures to Pete? Like, I'm pretty sure there's no way he could afford something like that, even with what he's got.
Yeah, definitely not the organic armatures that he was
I mean,
asking
even any
about
of
are
them,
yeah, I know.
like, better than what he's got. Like, he probably can't even afford a basic one.
Yeah, and now yeah, and his I'm trying to think. So
Condition.
yeah, well, and even just normally, we haven't talked too much about that, about how much Pete knows about the limitations of his VI body, um, because it's uh, there's some question about what he does or doesn't know. Um, do you think he would know whether or not it would be typically possible for a VI to be rehoused in a different armature or whatever?
I kind of feel like he would have asked Eva about that kind of stuff. And
Okay.
I'm assuming that the answer she would have given was like, that's almost impossible for VIs.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
also like scratching her head because like Pete is also a special case and a different case of all
Right.
Also,
that.
because she's not convinced Pete's a VI. He came to her thinking that he was a human that got turned into a robot or VI, and so
Mhm.
that's that stuck with her. Whether it's true or not, she still thinks about that possibility and gives it, due consideration.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
I think she would certainly know that the standard, like what is known conventional wisdom about VIs is that they are they are built, they are purpose built to their chassis, and their basically their intelligence matrices are not robust enough to be you know taken out and rehoused in a different chassis.
Hmm.
But yeah, her suspicion about what his true nature might be, or uncertainty about his nature, would probably lead her to hedge on answers like that to him, because she can't really say for certain that that's the case for him.
Right.
Yeah, it would require that whole scan thing from Lohenuda. So I'm just assuming that that is not a chance for him at this point.
Hmm. Yeah. Now, speaking of which, what is Pete wanting to get up to with these 12 days of downtime.
I don't know, probably just some basic maintenance and repairs kind of stuff.
Okay. No, like you're saying, just like on himself.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, this is a good place for it. Got plenty of materials if you need any spare parts. You get good quality stuff here. You're not going to be scrounging in the junkyard.
Yeah, I think that's really all he'd be trying to do.
Okay. Fair enough. Ooh, Robert. Yeah, I kind of like that one. The I don't know if it's just that my computer hasn't finished loading it yet, but it's a little blurry. But
If you expand it,
oh
like
yeah,
in the
clicking
browser, it's a little bit better.
clicking the link, it was fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely
I kind of like the design of it.
yeah I do. I was gonna say something that I had generally envisioned, and I liked that was of the cargo bay being kind of the the bottom floor. I don't know. I like that in a lot of ship layouts where the first floor, basically the bottom of the ship, is cargo bay with
Yeah.
the loading ramp that comes down, and then some kind of little stairway, maybe a little gantry or like a balcony at the at one end of the cargo bay, and then access to a hallway that's got the rest of the rooms of the ship.
Yeah.
Maybe on one or two floors above it.
Like I was also envisioning the vehicle bay at the top of that comp basically being like a hatch that would open as additional storage or cargo with like a
Mhm.
built-in like gantry crane that could like pop out and unload stuff.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
It would be odd having it top and bottom, but for story purposes could be useful.
No, it doesn't seem too odd. It seems odd to us because we're Earthbound, but
Right.
a lot of this is space, so
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that and I really liked it.
I like it. You got my vote too.
Cool.
Yeah, what I don't the only thing that I don't see, okay, the crew and passenger quarters are kind of in the middle.
Uh-huh. It's in the
And
middle.
yeah. And
It's a side sort of 3/4ing angle shot, so it's a bit weird. But if you
yeah.
look at the top view and consider that with the
Mhm.
cockpit all at the front and this middle floor, there's actually a surprising amount of space in there.
Yeah, it is. And this is I like the general design. There's plenty of room in there to imagine more space or whatever rooms are needed. But yeah, I like it a lot.
I have a quick question for Shopping Ben.
Okay, shopping question.
Can Eva effectively spend about 11,000 love on spare parts? It is 220 units of spare parts in total.
Yeah, as long as you got the cargo space for it.
The 200 is only 1 ton of cargo space, and the 20 is like 6 encumbrance. Bam.
Oh, really? You can. Okay. You can fit. Okay, yeah, I guess. Yeah, I wasn't remembering that the ship parts were uh divided out into like units of spare parts. That was just
Um,
like credits worth.
that's up to you. I'm buying them just as spare parts. If you're okay with spare parts being used as ship repair parts or ship repair resource. I mean, that's what I did in my game also to simplify things, but my intent with buying those is Eva wants spare parts to build things.
Hmm. Oh, okay, got you. So you're taking 1 ton of cargo space holds 10,000 credits worth of spare parts as the the equipment listed spare parts,
Hmm.
you know, divided into 10,000 credits equals 1 ton. I got you. Hmm. Yeah, I guess I hadn't thought about those being related. I don't see any issue with it.
It really simplified maintenance, repairs, and crafting in my game when I did that.
Yeah, I was gonna say spare parts is spare parts.
Yep.
It just takes a whole lot more of them. And the main thing just being that as long as in this case, there's not really a concern about you have limited access to spare parts. So yeah, you can't repair your ship from a TL3 junkyard. We're not exactly in that kind of situation. So yeah, I'm not worried about the overlap there. Um, yeah, I guess I just realized I put this message in the wrong spot.
Oops. Oh, you probably didn't need to. I mathed it all out.
Oh yeah, you probably have it all. You got it all listed there.
Oops. I lost the V. I love the fact that you accidentally created the shorthand of love for the vouchers.
That is really great. I'm super proud of my subconscious mind. that definitely did that on purpose without my knowledge.
Yeah.
I'm rapidly making love bugs in the in Photoshop.
Yes.
By the way,
You've heard of-
Danielle, Eva has paid Cherry back the 300 that she borrowed. I don't know if
Neat.
Danielle's anywhere near a sheet, but if
I'm not. Thank
okay.
you.
Ben, could you like note it on her in her notes section or
Yeah.
something? Yeah.
I should do that. In fact, I could also make the change to her credits. Yeah, I wish they had like a credits ledger of some kind on these character sheets.
Mm,
It's the sort of thing that I I used to wonder, like, why would anybody want to keep track of all that? But then it's like, oh, when you're buying and selling stuff all the time, and then you're trying to remember, wait, did I add that to my credits?
oh.
Could be super handy. All right, let's see. All right, I'm gonna add 300 credits, and then I'm gonna go ahead and add. What did we decide? It was 5,000 credits a piece?
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess I should add that to my character sheet with notes for the love units.
So Cherry's now rocking 6,500 and so credits.
And make sure you note down how much love you have on your character sheet.
Yeah, you can add additional.
Oh, I got infinite
resources.
love. I had to take the chance.
Yeah, let's see. Love. Oh, that's interesting, but it's doing it a little bit differently. It's okay. Added a 20,000 love to Cherry's sheet as well. Actually, 10,000 because she's gonna buy a black slab. And those are 10 grand. All right. I think that's about everybody. Zeke is also he's he's got some stuff he's getting up to. Um, he doesn't spend a lot of time on the ship for the next while. In fact, he's once he realizes that you guys have some time, he lets the crew know that he's got some research he needs to do, and sequesters himself for a lot of his time.
Okay. Um, is Pete babysitting Eva?
Probably.
Cause she's got these eye things, but she's also got work she wants to do,
Oh, he's probably babysitting her.
and she wants to oversee what they're doing to her ship.
Yeah, he's probably restraining her. Like, look, we're paying them. They're doing their jobs. They're doing what we asked. Calm down.
Oh.
I know they're touching your baby.
Would any of this conversation be happening on oh, that reminds me. Are we able to stay on the ship while those repairs are being done, or did we have to go somewhere else, Ben?
Yeah, so what I told you last time is that you should still be able to stay in your quarters on the ship. Um, that does come with some inconveniences. If you do have to get run out of each of you is going to have to get run out of your room for uh, the better part of at least one day at some point, so that repairs and maintenance can be done on your quarters as well. And
Right.
moving around on the ship, you're going to be it's going to be difficult sometimes. There are going to be times when the corridors are getting blocked off because they're doing something serious.
Right. Well, Cherry, would Cherry have walked in on Pete and Eva having conversations about her doing less, or I'm guessing this would have gone on for multiple days, or no?
Oh yeah, absolutely
probably.
possible. Yeah.
I think we need a
Very
scene.
likely.
We need a scene where she walks in, and Pete is standing there patiently trying to insist on something to Eva, while Eva is, double eye patched, stumbling around, just barely able to see through the fabric of these. Maybe day one of the operation, trying to fiddle with some of her tools and trying to look at these some of these new pre-tech gadgets in her toolkit.
All right. Does that sound like a reasonable setting
Mhm.
for Cherry to be walking into? Okay. Cherry walking into this, um, slurping on the last of her slushy, uh, beholding this situation, would look back down at her compad and after typing a couple things, look back up and eventually say very loudly, "So my nerd brother invited me to like this nerd talk thing about theoretical life origins of artificial intelligence."
Uh,
And it's like, I think a thing where you, and she looks at Pete when she says this, do a lot of like sitting and listening, and then afterwards you talk with a bunch of nerds.
I want to be a panelist. Oh, hang on,
No,
hang on.
honey,
That was not Eva's voice.
it's too late.
I want.
A panelist.
I could be a panelist.
Well, that's very sweet of you, but they've already filled up their panel. Daisuke invited me to come and sit with him.
Huh?
I think I think it's like open to the public if you'd like to come.
Please, it's been a day. My eyes are fine. See, I can see just. Is this blue? I see. I'm holding a blue pen. It's
Well,
black.
listen, the after party is being catered by one of my favorite bakeries, so that's why he invited me. But I think you could benefit from coming and sitting and listening.
No, you should. Can't we both go?
I
I
mean,
don't know that I'm
anyone can
smart
go.
enough to
It's
listen.
quite literally open to the public.
Oh, of course. Oh, please, can I go, Pete?
Cherry would look over at Pete. But you have to promise me that you will let me put you in something other than those godforsaken overalls.
Okay. Where will I hang all my tools, though?
I don't think this is like a hands-on kind of thing.
What if a chair breaks?
That's fair. What if I got you a purse?
A what?
It's like a toolkit on like a shoulder strap,
Oh.
but they make them look really cute. Some of them look like little backpacks.
Okay, that's okay.
Cherry's still looking at Pete, and she finally opens up her compad and texts.
That's a really good idea, Eva. You should go. I'll make sure they don't do anything to the ship.
Oh, thank you, Pete.
Awesome, it's settled.
So
She would
excited.
just like dart forward and grab Eva's hand and like yank her after her, throwing her empty slushy cup into the trash as she's exiting the room
Okay.
in a hurry.
Speaking of darting,
I see that.
Oh no.
Yep.
What am I missing?
Oh, you can't read it right. Bo is playing
Oh, yeah,
darts despite still having 2 eye patches.
Oh dear.
Okay.
If Cherry passes that, she would be silently cursing that Zeke has made himself scarce.
oh yeah, and that's near the airlock. So
Yeah, I was gonna say he's doing this in his little DIY dart lane, right?
mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Oh,
that's
my
something
word.
at least. There's a wall separating him from the rest. So like, unless he just makes an astronomically bad shot, shouldn't be any problems.
What is the modifier for this?
Certainly a -4.
I like those. I think I still have it set to ask when I do. Nice.
Wow, not too shabby.
Good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
fortunately, those eye
Negative
patches.
4.
Fortunately, they don't block 100% of light, so we can still just barely make out some shapes and stuff through the fabric if he tilts his head just right. But yeah, he does actually hit the he hits the dartboard. Scores pretty well. Not the perfect shot, but he's still proud of it.
Oh, that was with wisdom.
That's the only way you can throw blindly.
Exactly.
I'm gonna say that would be a 12. if I had done that with Dex.
Just relying on his mind's eye.
Come on, you've seen all the D&D Jedi conversions. They all attack with wisdom.
Hmm.
It's true.
But yeah, with that, he'll hear I guess be there for Jerry and Eva leaving. Saying, oh, getting still got a 0 in my aim after I switched out my eyeballs.
Oh, don't hit any of the workers.
I won't if they know what's good for them.
You won't hit them if you know what's good for you.
A pair of workers carrying an alloy panel past you. Both give him an odd look, but seem to take it in stride.
All right. Eva has been placated with nerd talk that she can't talk yet. And you know she's gonna try and peek out from under the goggles to rest her gaze upon Daisuke.
Anytime she reaches up for her double blindfolds, Cherry would bat at her hands.
I was gonna say, did they share their plans?
No, she didn't share her plans other than loudly. The first time she did
saying
it.
Eva did. Yeah,
did
I think
Eva?
if
I
he
don't know
heard
if he
that
did.
and that Daisuke would be there, Bo would go and suffer through this.
Zeke pops into place near Bo at the end of the little dart track, blindfold already in place. All right, Bo, we doing this? And as he's facing the opposite direction from the dartboard.
Okay.
Oh no! Oh no!
And then he pulls
People say wrong way, Zeke.
one eye up to look. Oh, hey, I didn't know everybody was going to be here. You guys playing too?
Oh, that's true. He can totally cheat. He could literally foresee the results of throwing the dart in the wrong direction.
Now, there is no way Zeke would use his powers so irresponsibly.
That's just skill. That's like card counting.
True.
I was gonna say, you sure about that?
Hey, if you worked hard enough to be able to see into the future, you should get to use that on stupid things like winning a bet at darts.
So true. Yeah, I feel like there's plenty of room for that.
So does Bo end up going to the talk, or has Zeke distracted him?
No, he's going to the talk. He's on a mission.
So what does he tell Zeke?
Hey, now I'm just so excited about going to this robot talk.
Huh. Well, I thought that sort of thing wasn't your speed exactly.
Oh, you know me. I love education.
Zeke just shrugs. Oh, okay. Well, good man, Bo.
It's nice that you're putting in an effort to understand better.
Yeah, on that.
Oh yeah, that is definitely what I'm putting in the effort for.
Yeah, there are probably other things that I should be doing.
Yeah, you gotta make sure that golem fill ain't still loose.
True. He he
Wow.
slips the blindfold
Good
back
luck.
down and chucks the dart over his shoulder, lands it on the board, and
Wow.
listens. Says, "Yeah, that's enough of that for today," and then disappears.
Sherry is less than thrilled when she is waiting down at the bottom of the ramp, holding Eva's hand, and Bo pops up, not in a Zeke fashion, but in a Bo fashion. After she has carefully helped Eva to look presentable, now there is a Bo looking like Bo.
Beat Bayodio Bo.
That's when you tell him you only had 3 seats reserved, so he's gonna have to sit somewhere else.
Ouch.
Oh,
No, that's if you feel like
Cherry considers asking him if he has a ticket for this event. And then she remembers that she told Eva multiple times that it was open to the public. And then she bites her tongue. Well, when Tashi pulls up, Eva will escort, sorry, not Eva. Cherry will escort Eva into the back seat and make sure she's comfortable, and then shut the door, and then go sit up front with Tashi. After giving Bo a glare for good measure.
Yeah.
So Bo gets to be a cutie patootie and sit in the back seat with Eva. Alone.
Well, he gets to listen
well,
to. Yeah, go
oh,
ahead, Ethan.
you go ahead. I was gonna say, I'm guessing that's just a pre-lecture lecture about
That's exactly what I was
the
about to say.
topic at hand.
So, you guys compare notes on your new eyeballs?
Yeah, if Bo swings a conversation around to that, it's not on Eva's mind right now.
Because they've quite suddenly got a lot more in common than they did before.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
No,
Yeah, I guess
go
after
for it.
letting her run for a while, say, well, how are your fancy new eyeballs treating you?
She is over the moon with them. She is so happy that she can see all the the electrical radiation, all the basically all the things that like people use various sensors and goggles and things to see. And she even suspects, but she's gonna test it slowly, that she could weld without welding helmet or goggles.
Oh gosh. That sounds like a really quick way to void your warranty.
Yeah, that's
That out
dangerous.
there.
Bo will suggest not doing that. Like, I think it makes your eyes better. If it's gonna help you not see something really, really bright in the visible spectrum. But yeah, this will be dead useful. Normally, you gotta get some fancy gear or whatever that you can't lug around most places to be able to see in low light and stuff like that. Could have used these back on old Urala.
Would have made navigating so much easier.
Yeah, navigating.
Yeah. I'm very happy I haven't looked at the wireless transmissions yet and the radio transmissions, but day two is my goal.
Yeah, that'll be dead handy too. Everybody carries around some kind of electrical signal maker on them.
Yeah, and you can see when somebody's got an earpiece in because they're transmitting, or when somebody is broadcasting a lot of data.
It's true.
Yeah. No more being able to be sneaky for a lot of these folks.
Oh yeah, and that too. Why did you get eyes, Bo? I didn't think you would want to make yourself any kind of mechanical.
Oh, that's just a fancy kind of tool. Really, permanent contacts. I didn't see too much of an issue with them. I guess I don't want to get all fully chromed out or nothing, but
I wonder how it would feel, but I don't really think I need anything else.
I kind of want one of them body arsenal rays. Not just have a gun, but you get to be a gun.
I would just stab myself with it.
I think they got something where you can turn the friendly fire off.
Wait, did you say they come with guns?
Oh yeah, that's what.
Oh, that's
most
even
folks would do with
worse.
it. That's what I'm looking at. Put you a laser rifle right in your arm. Be able to sneak that everywhere.
No, that sounds.
Maybe a holdout cavity so I can carry a hand grenade in with me.
I could put my toolkit in it. And then Sherry
Oh,
couldn't take it away from me.
I think he will have noticed her very toolbox-looking purse. Hey, well, you seem to be managing well enough.
I don't know if she noticed it. The pre-tech toolkit is so much smaller. Don't tell her. I think she'll take it away from me if she sees it.
Oh yeah, you can sneak that out. And probably hide inside your purse of regular old tools.
About this time, the Grav limo comes to a stop, and Tashi's voice comes on over the little intercom in the car. We have arrived.
Eva looks in the direction of Bo, and then over at the intercom. Were you able to hear us?
I do not make a practice of listening in on my guests' conversations unless they wish to.
Oh, okay. It's not a big deal. We weren't talking about anything about Cherry, but I just wanted to ask.
I was gonna say Cherry would hear their conversation over the intercom. She's up front, I guess, so she could lean over and respond to that if she wanted to.
She would actually have already hopped out of the car and pulled open the door.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so you just hear Tashi saying, "Oh, worry not. She did not hear any of your conversation about her or otherwise."
Okay. Thank you so much for this, Cherry. I know I'm kind of a clumsy goofball with these eye things in.
Cherry,
Yeah, it's the eyes that are making all that.
Cherry would try really hard not to grin at those comments, and then she would say, "Oh, I mean, if I've got to sit and be bored out of my mind, someone might as well be having a good time."
Oh, I'm gonna have such a good time. I did bring a
I
data slab.
know.
Okay.
Nope, it's okay. You can keep going.
Oh yeah, she starts regaling Cherry about all the notes that she's going to take on her data slab, and she knows that they'll be legible because she practiced for many years, staring at the teacher or the board or whatever they were demonstrating while taking notes.
Cherry nods and then realizes that that probably didn't, register for Eva. So she goes, "Yeah, oh, I'm positive it will be legible." But yeah, I'm sure that Daisuke is waiting for us. So I'm gonna go ahead and just she's gonna help Eva out of the car and then shut the door. And then she'll pause a moment and then she'll take a deep breath and then she'll open the door back up. Did you need any assistance this evening?
No, no, you're already doing quite enough for me. Thank you.
No, I'm talking to Bo. The blind
Oh.
hog you brought with you. Do I need
I
to
brought
make
my
like a short chain that you both can hold on to?
I brought my old tippy tappy stick that I can get around with.
Awesome. So she'll leave the door open and take Eva by the hand, put her hand kind of on Cherry's arm, and then start looking around for her brother.
Eva follows along as best as she's able to. You know, for still having a 5 dex and being half blind.
Cherry is going to be doing a lot of leading.
Should I roll in a dex exert check?
Seems reasonable to me.
Poor Cherry. Okay, alright.
That's possible.
Yeah, yeah. I think he was probably moving a little bit slow. Even if she doesn't, she thinks she's walking normally. She thinks she looks perfectly fine and normal and not at all like she's blind. But she is subconsciously walking slower, and I think she actually manages not to trip and fall. She stumbles a couple times. But yeah, no spills.
noise. All right. So, how much of um, this talk at the Loenuda Academy for the Sciences would you like to role play out?
How much of the talk do you have prepared?
Oh no, the talk is in the background. That is peripheral to the scene.
but I want to hear the contents.
You can ask. I'm sure ChatGPT has the contents.
Probably.
um, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I will say, like, generically about the talk, it probably does have some interesting ideas. It's a lot of theory. There, there's not, there's not been any, I guess, kind of scientific studies done to prove any of these theories yet. But and of course, a lot of it would be difficult because it's surrounding, uh, sentience and the the origin of it and all that kind of stuff. But see, there's certainly some thought-provoking things said about how how the process of creating virtual intelligences and artificial intelligences has managed to produce sentience at a level comparable to, and even in some ways surpassing the baseline human intelligence. The speaker notably is human.
Mhm. Okay. Is there a question and answer section?
Yeah, there would definitely be a Q&A at the end.
Okay. As to your earlier question, I don't know how much want to role play out. I can give kind of a general that unless disturbed, Eva's pretty intent on the content that she's being fed. This is like reading, but somebody's doing it for her.
Right. Yeah, so she's sat in her fair share of lectures on scientific topics, and yeah, it's kind of the bread and butter of the academic world. So this may even remind her a bit of home.
Oh, almost certainly, yeah. And can you put the topic of the talks in chat somewhere?
Yeah, wanted in session chat here.
I actually thought that this was just going to be a quick, here's how we're distracting Eva. I didn't know that this was going to be a full-blown scene.
I
Yeah.
mean, we could finish it now if you want.
I'm good either way. I don't want to draw it out any more than is interesting, but I also wouldn't want to cut it off if it's interesting.
So it was Cherry, Eva, and Bo. Did Pete not go along? I realized I may have missed that.
Did what?
Did Pete come along, or did he stay behind?
Great question, Pete.
Because at one point, somebody had said something about Eva and Bo sitting in the back by themselves, and I was like, "Wait, where'd Pete go?" because it had sounded like originally that Pete was going to be going along. Robert, do you have thoughts on that?
No, Pete was staying back with the ship, just watching, making sure nothing happened, but also not being there for a couple hours, listening to something that is above his head.
I
Okay,
do, yeah, I do remember you saying something about him not wanting to be the above his head part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny because I was thinking like, oh man, this is the kind of thing I could see it going either way for Pete. Either that he's very interested in it because it's a topic that's closely related to his own personal struggle, or he would really rather not think about it at that deep a level because it's so.
I mean, probably both, honestly.
He's got those conflicting emotions about it.
It's above his head. He really wants to know, but can't really understand it. But also, it would really stress him out to know. So, hey, whatever.
Hmm. A stupefying cocktail of apathy, or I guess resulting in apathy. Uh, that's cool.
So if we don't want to play it out, I can cap with Eva, of course, is going to ask a challenging question because it's a Q&A section.
Yeah, sounds good. What kind of question would she be asking?
I'm gonna roll a quick connect wisdom first, just to see how socially aware she's being right now. I did give it a +1. I just didn't put it in there. So, a 6, huh?
Well, I'll leave it to you to interpret since it was a self-inflicted role.
It was a self-inflicted roll. Yeah, she's trying to keep to heart Cherry's previous appeal to her. Please don't embarrass me.
Right.
And so,
It's a good place to start. Trying is good.
yeah.
Barry was sitting next to Eva, and she would have let Eva pick if she wanted to sit next to Daisuke or not.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's true. We didn't establish seating arrangement. That's important,
That's important for the scene.
especially if Bo's involved. And
uh, I'm sorry, Ethan, and I'm sorry, Bo.
Mhm.
Eva opts to sit next to Daisuke. So,
All right.
oh, go ahead, Danielle.
where does that leave Bo sitting? That's the real question.
Yeah, is he also sitting next to Daisuke, or is he sitting next to Cherry?
Oh, you're saying Cherry's on one side and Daisuke's on the other?
Yeah, Eva is
Yeah.
sat
Well,
between Daisuke and Cherry.
yep.
Yeah, this bit of detail is definitely,
Mm-hmm.
I think, enjoyable and
The
worth.
necessary detail.
Yes, the necessary detail. The specific, lecture and all of its nuances, meh.
Yeah.
It was just an excuse to get all these people in the same place at the same time.
I think he'd pick Daisuke.
All right. The namby-pamby brother wins out.
So, at the question section, Eva does
Mhm.
not. Eva shows restraint and does not she's not first hand up.
Okay.
Second hand up.
She's
So yeah, there are a couple other dry questions
mm-hmm.
that the lecture does a decent job of answering. Only only in small ways, dodging the the more complex and unanswerable parts of the questions.
So Eva is going to try not to come across as she's going to ask more than tell the question.
Hmm. Okay.
She's not only trying not to embarrass Cherry, but she's also now trying to impress Daisuke with how thoughtful she is.
Hmm.
Oh no. I feel like Eva's gonna overheat.
Roll to impress.
And so I would actually like to roll a no check with intelligence for her to ask actually, sorry, not with intelligence, with charisma, for her to ask a question that's kind of that's obviously is definitely related, but an intelligent question that is kind of more on the philosophical side of the separation between human thought and VI thought. Separation between human feeling and consciousness and VI feeling and consciousness. Obviously, not asking something that he already covered, but trying to kind of not dissect, but pry into a little bit of the content that he covered.
Okay.
And so does a charisma no check sound okay?
Yeah, that sounds nice.
Oh my gosh, what would that have been with? Wow, that would have been
Wow.
15. That would have been a 17 with intelligence.
Wow.
Wowzer.
And you don't have to come up with an answer, Ben. Just it's more
Yeah.
interesting how he responds, whether he's like supportive or evasive, and how Daisuke, Cherry, and Bo respond.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's see. So Daisuke, he has actually a mildly surprised look on his face when Eva pops up and asks the question. And, he watches her face as she asks it, and it being Eva, it takes her a minute or so to ask the question.
She has to lay groundwork, of course.
Exactly. She's gotta set up the foundation for the premise of her question.
Yeah.
Because it is related to the topic, but it's a bit of a departure from the direction that some of the other questions had been going. And the speaker responds positively and actually starts by thanking her for her very insightful question, and he pauses and asks her her name.
Oh, she tells him, and how to spell it, of course.
Of course. All right, yeah. So very good. Yeah, he says thank you and noted, and then he spends a decent bit of time answering that question. He goes on a bit of a tangent about it. Seems to give it more consideration than he had a couple of the other questions, and because it was a topic that he didn't get into a lot in his lecture, but his it comes down to it that his belief is that human thought, VI thought, AI thought, um, are all in the same. They are all in the same category, but just like different people may have different kinds of thoughts or different opinions about things, work with different frameworks. VIs and then certainly AIs are working with a very different context, with a different framework that informs their thoughts. And so while the quality and the nature of the thoughts could be considered the same, it's really more, it's kind of nurture and just context that can account for the sometimes significant differences in the results.
I think Eva thanks him for his response and answer and comments, kind of not under her breath, but not like broadcasting, even though she's probably got a mic on her at this point. But just
Oh no,
kind
they
of.
took the mic away.
Hmm?
No, they brought a mic over for to ask the question, but now it's gone.
Oh,
Or
okay.
simply take back the mic.
Oh well,
After her 2-minute question, the assistant carrying the mic snatched it back.
You could just say it was a mic'd little like personal drone that
yeah.
they flew to different people, and then once the person's done, it flies back to the person who's in charge of it.
Yeah, that does have a more Luenida feel to it.
It does.
Makes it easier in a crowd like that.
Then she just says it normally, thanks him, and says that she hopes to see more or hear more of his not here. She hopes to read his papers soon.
All right. Very
Eve
good.
is
Well,
very happy right now.
yeah, Daisuke seems he seems a little bit shell shocked almost. And he says something quietly about, wow, that went pretty well. I don't it doesn't usually go that long on answering questions.
Well, it was a good question, unlike the other three.
Yeah.
Hopefully Daisuke was not one of those other three.
He was definitely not. He didn't ask any questions.
Okay.
But he says, well, yeah, I mean, it's definitely a more interesting question. And that counts for a lot. But yeah, shortly after, the question and answer period ends, and everybody is left to file out of the auditorium, and there's a little reception afterward.
Cherry is on cloud 9 as they are bringing out all the pastries.
Yeah, they're say even for this little open to the public, free admission kind of lecture, they do not cut corners on the reception.
Cherry would, as they are reaching into the reception hall, she would turn around and start counting. Okay, there's 1, there's 2, there's 3. Trying not to sound disappointed as Bo walks in, and she will sigh and she'll go up to Bo and she'll say, well, we deserve to eat something good after that. Come on. And she'll kind of grab him by the elbow and say, "Food is this way." I think they have some really good pastries that have meat inside them, but I mean, I don't know. I just assume you'd like the meaty stuff.
Like, oh yeah, looking ahead about some of that. You just leave that to me. And Bo is he's gonna try to sneakily go around and pocket as many extra pastries as he can.
Cherry, uh, could you roll to see if Cherry notices what he's doing?
See how sneaky he is.
Hmm.
That's pretty sneaky.
Masterful stealth.
Yeah, she'd have to be hawk-eyed, glued to him pretty much to
Well, she
notice.
was thinking he was blind, so she is pretty much glued to him. But I will, if she does notice, she doesn't say anything.
I say she's more worried about making sure that he doesn't trip or bump into anything, and so isn't even watching his hands. So he manages it in a moment when she's not kind of glued on him.
But yeah, he's bagging the kind of sweets that are pastries that he's observed Cherry tends to like.
So yeah, she looks away at one point to talk to somebody who comes up to her, and then turns to get something, and notices she's getting the last one of the pastries that she was going for. You may think, wow, those went pretty fast.
Yep.
So
He's
yeah,
got like a doggy bag inside of his jacket.
Bo knew what he was coming here for. Yeah, so in the reception afterward, Daisuke is staying nearby too, and
Cherry had already told him, "Please do not let my friend trip and die on your watch, or I will kill you."
yeah, so he's keeping tabs on Eva, and he goes on to tell her, when he says, that uh, I was really surprised when you spoke up and asked that question. I guess I should have. Now it makes sense now that I think about it, but I wasn't expecting you to be so bold.
Well, she is a genius after all.
It's true, I am.
It seems that way. Definitely, I should take advantage of that. Get your perspective on a couple of my projects.
Well, I would love to. I can tell you, um, I can help, yes.
Nice save, Eva. I was like, whoa, I know where this is going. Yeah, he doesn't seem to notice the little mid-sentence correction, um, because he's looking up and saying, Professor Hart, good to see you. I had thought you might be at this lecture, and this older woman is approaching and glances at Daisuke and acknowledges and greets him, but is walking over to take Eva's hand, and after saying, "Yes, good to see you too, Daisuke. Glad to see you're not neglecting your lectures, even while you're busy with other pursuits. But uh, this young woman here do you know her, Miss Eva Mulligan? I must say I appreciated your question. It was very thoughtful."
Oh, thank you. Huh. Eva kind of looks in the direction of Daisuke and Miss Hart.
I don't
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't recall seeing you at the university. Are you a prospective student?
No, I went to, and she says where she went in Anagras.
Ah, off Wilder. Well, you certainly have had a good education over on Anagras. I haven't been over to visit their campuses in a while, but must say I hadn't been that impressed with them. But I should certainly have give them a second look, considering the quality that they apparently produced in you. And she's smiling broadly as she says, still holding Eva's hand in both of hers.
I don't think Eva knows what to do here. Uh,
But
well, I've always been very inquisitive, and the instruction has been good, most of it. You probably don't need to go there. There's not much to see. Although,
I
if you do, I can point you at some of the more brilliant professors that I've had, those that truly inspired my quest for knowledge.
yes, I would appreciate that. I only made a brief visit myself and didn't have time to talk with everyone there. It is certainly possible that I overlooked the most excellent minds of the place.
Yeah, Eva will list off some of the professors that were actually more supportive of her, even when she was a right, mean, condescending know-it-all.
um,
Maybe not mean, but a right, unintentionally condescending know-it-all.
yeah. Uh, you notice one of her eyes goes slightly unfocused. Well, actually,
I don't think Eva notices that.
Eva wouldn't notice that. Um, Cherry Cherry might notice that one of her eyes goes kind of unfocused for a moment, but she's nodding along as Eva rattles off these names, and then thanks Eva very much for the recommendations. Assures her that she'll be checking in on them, and that she'll have to let them know what an impression their student made on her.
Okay, all right. She's handling this. Um, Eva is beaming. It, thank you. It
Word,
was
words of
nice.
affirmation tank filled.
Oh yes.
It was a pleasure meeting you. And if Daisuke is one of your students, then um, I see only brightness in his future too.
Yes. I've I've had the pleasure of having Daisuke in one of my courses. he shows exceptional promise, though I do believe his preference is more for the hands-on applications than the philosophical ruminations of some of those of us more inclined to dusty ramblings and old texts. But all the same, I've appreciated his work. And she smiles at him too, as he was starting to get a little bit of a nervous look. Uh, then he laughs along and thanks her again, and she heads off, making rounds, talking to others at the reception.
Yeah. Wow, I don't. I think Eva still doesn't know what to do with herself right now.
Just riding that high a little bit, didn't know where to take it.
Yep. Like, what do you do once you get to the top of that wave? You're not supposed to be on the top of the wave. You're supposed to be inside of the wave. What do you do now?
Yeah.
Although I guess there is a point at which you are on top of the wave-ish. Surfing is weird. There was a weird analogy, okay?
Please, please let that have been in character.
You know what? It is now.
Wait, which part was in character?
Eva kind of just mumbles to herself, but it's Eva, so no real inside voice.
Yeah.
Well, no library voice.
Yeah.
And she, just what do you do when you're at the top of the wave? You're on the wave, and you're supposed to be inside the wave, and I guess sometimes you're on top of the wave. You're supposed to be there, but surfing is weird. Surfing was a weird analogy.
Daisuke smiles at her, looking a little bemused. What are you getting at?
I don't know.
Well, that makes two of us. he he elbows her gently in the side to show that he's, teasing her a little bit, but
Mm-hmm.
not trying to be mean about it. So, did Cherry put you up to this?
No, she just told me that there was a lecture, and I love lectures, and that you were gonna be here, and I love lectures.
Well, I guess I appreciate the good word to my professor. As hard as she's pretty strict when it comes to her subjects. But hey, I think I don't know, a glowing recommendation from you may hold some weight with her. She seemed to really like you. I
Mm.
guess I'm just also not used to Cherry's friends being into this sort of thing. So it's good that
Wah,
she's
wah.
she's broadening her horizons.
Oh, I can't imagine that there's anybody that wouldn't be Cherry's friend. So it's just whoever she wants to be friends with, right?
Exactly, yeah. Saying her judgment is improving clearly.
Well, of course.
I mean, I don't know. I guess I don't think that's something that just happens naturally. Usually.
No, she's been on the ship with me for some time now.
I see. So your excellent influence on her is what's changed her for the better. Is that it?
Mm. Mm, Um, yes.
Hmm.
I think I need to sit down.
Uh, Probably a good idea. I mean, as you can see it all through those things.
I really can't.
Scoots over a chair for her. It's like, I'm sorry, supposed to keep an eye on you. Don't think I've even given you anything to eat yet. Go get some food.
It's okay.
Yeah, you're fine. Just wait. Trying to find you something that isn't just sugar.
Oh, I like sugar too.
Well, yeah, but I mean, he just kind of gestures vaguely at the stuff on offer.
hmm
This is like, I don't know. This is like greasing a ball bearing with sand. This is not how it's done. But yeah, I can get you something.
Oh
Okay.
no, he doesn't like sugar. Cherry's the sugar fiend.
he,
I think he's just trying to make sure she eats something in addition to the sugar.
he's yeah. He starts to step
Fair.
away, and then he like turns back and in a little lower voice says, "Guess that influence runs both ways, huh?" And then like winks at her, and then goes to get her some food.
I'm pretty sure Cherry survives on sugar and attention alone.
Yeah.
One day she's gonna walk in, see the planning board. It's been in various stages over the past week, but now she starts recognizing, hey, wait a minute, Eva's working on a sugar to attention to nutrition conversion rate for Cherry.
Oh no.
Hmm, hmm. Oh my. All right. Well, so he'll go get her some stuff, trying to get some snacky stuff. Some little hors d'oeuvres that aren't just pastries. Although he will get her a pastry. Um, but that we're basically out of our session time here.
Oh,
So
I was gonna say while he's gone, Bo will tap over with his little temporary cane,
Cherry is
and
definitely distracted getting cake and has
he'll conspiratorially slip her a pastry. Say, "Hey, I grabbed one of these for you, seeing as you're blind and whatnot. But I also got you this fruit cup because you probably shouldn't just have sugar.
Well,
Promise me you're gonna eat that too."
fruit is also lots of sugar, and in the cups with all the juice. And she starts.
Oh, it's straight fruit. And you know it's different.
As soon as he said what he's giving her, I was like, I know where this is going.
Mm, Thank you, Bo.
But actually,
Well, actually.
yeah. Well,
And then he'll tip tap away again, saying, I'm on a mission for Cherry. I'm seeing how many of those things I can snag and put in a doggy bag for her." So you can't tell, but this jacket has 27 pastries in it right now.
Oh
Wow.
no.
yeah. So
Somebody quick, give him a hug.
man,
Pat him down. It's all over.
so
Squish,
he goes back.
squish.
He goes back to get more pastries.
Mm-hmm.
So when he goes back over the tables, a man in like just like a solid black uniform. Looks like he's a staff member of the place. Comes in just gently with a hand on his arm. Says quietly, "Sir, we appreciate your presence, but we would appreciate if you make sure to leave some of the refreshments for the other guests. There's no stated limit, but we do prefer that everyone take a reasonable amount. So,
He'll tap away, say, "Oh, sorry, I can't hear you. I'm blind."
sir, he like outstretches a hand and then just kind of sighs and walks away. Like he tried being nice and he wasn't gonna get mean about it. How best to pocket an entire cake? That is the question. All right. Well, I think that'll wrap this session. Sorry for it being considerably shorter than usual, but all is fun regardless. Yeah, I think next time maybe we will pick up. We can pick up with uh, just a quick scene capping off the repairs and maintenance and sending you all off on your next mission.
Okay,
Alright.
I'm good with that.
And yeah, let's see. Let's get some faves in here. Looks like Danielle is going to be first this time.
Hmm.
Excuse me.
My fave was getting to use my nerd brother to keep my nerd captain from being a blind menace.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Dex, what about you?
I'm gonna give a shout out to the little role play that Ethan typed into Roll20 about what Bo is doing or was doing during the lecture.
God damn it, I missed it.
That is my favorite. With a second of Cherry being coldly civil to Bo. Like just this side of friendly and just this side of cold. And
Yeah.
I'll we could have Bo read the message if you want.
Oh yeah. Ethan, what was Bo getting up to during the lecture?
Okay, so I said he'd mostly tuned out of the lecture, but used his compad to order some white chrysanthemums, a traditional Japanese apology, with a short apology letter to Cherry's parents.
Oh, very cool. It was having them delivered.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
That is very well played. And
I
it was
definitely
just
like
so
that.
subtly inserted.
Yep, he's just doing it under the radar, not telling anybody else.
Yeah.
That's a cool move. All right, Ethan, what's your fave?
What do we got here? I think Zeke's 360 no scope for one.
that was fun.
And then second, the ever important seating arrangement.
Ever important.
Caused a single tear to roll down Bo's cheek.
Oh my.
Yeah, I was having fun with that because I was just trying to figure out, like, okay, what is it? Where's everybody's head at in this moment? Because I wasn't 100% sure about what what Bo's main motivator for going to this thing was. If it was trying to go, extend the the peace offering to Cherry and go do something that that she seemed to want to do, or if he was going to try to do that for Daisuke
I think the
or
GM
something else entirely.
may have missed a subtle interaction or interplay.
Oh, was there a moment that I missed? I thought I was paying pretty good attention, but that would figure. There was one little moment I missed that explained everything.
Not this session. It's been an ongoing thing.
Okay. Because I guess what I'd picked up on was that, at least so far, was that Bo was not. Sorry, I'm processing here. Playing back, I guess my impression was Bo was not a fan of Daisuke. Um, or is this, or is what I'm missing that was a cover up for?
I'm afraid it is not my story to tell.
Oh yeah, that's been like a jealousy reaction.
Okay, that makes sense.
It goes
Okay,
way back to when, if you don't mind me
Right.
saying, Ethan,
Mm-hmm.
to when Cherry put the idea in Bo's head that Eva buying him something meant
Mhm.
something.
Yes, that he had. Yeah, that it meant something. Okay. Yes. All right. That's clicking. That's clicking. Because I had picked. Now that you mention it, I had picked up on that back, whichever session it was that everybody met Cherry's family. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, he's just mad because Eva's showing an interest in this other guy and what he's up to. But yeah, I'd forgotten that. Thank you for reminding me. All right. So, Robert, what's yours?
Oh, the non-standard construction of the swallowtail. Cardboard, aluminum, wood, whatever was on hand.
Yeah.
You know what? I need to preserve that in our player notes. Let me do that real quick.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Make sure that doesn't get passed over or just kind of blend in with all the other.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was a really fun. That was a really fun bunch of flavor. Because yeah, I think I like having some more explanation for what all was wrong with the ship. What made it a junkyard salvage more than just slightly quirky spike drives.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Oh, and then Avery is not here tonight, so that brings it to me. Boy, oh boy. I think I think Bo's pastry stash is one of my favorites from the session. Um, Hoarding a ludicrous number of pastries and then just uh, yeah, totally ignoring brushing off the guy who tried to politely ask him to stop taking all the pastries.
I don't think he pocketed anymore after that, but he wasn't gonna cop to it.
Yeah. Uh, so it's the way it's got to be sometimes. Um, but yeah, I think yeah, I think that'll do it for this session. There was well, I'll just say uh, one of my favorites was role playing Zeke a little bit. Um, I enjoy getting the opportunity to try to do that stuff and try to think of how a player character would behave. Uh, I don't know that I always do a great job of it, but there are times where I enjoy the trying to role play them in the situation that arises.
Yeah.
um, yeah, I didn't mention out loud, but everybody take 1 XP.
Oh.
I'm sure some of you were were ready to tick that number the moment the little dot popped up on character development.
Already added.
um, yeah, and that'll wrap our session for tonight. Session 30 is done.
Although I'll have to do a recount because unless you've given us a bonus XP twice, I'm not sure how I would be at 32.
Hmm.
If we've
I
gotten,
have the same number though.
yeah, I remember I did count it out not too long ago, and I've just been adding, the one since then. So I think it's right. I just
Yeah,
don't.
maybe I should be keeping track of the sum total of XP. That would probably be helpful.
It would make tracking easier if he said +1, 32
Yeah,
of
equals
39.
yeah. Yeah, I think I'll try to do that. I'll make a note. If I can remember to come back to it. Last couple weeks I haven't really spent much time in between sessions other than like day of, okay, some kind of last minute prep, and then I'm like, oh, there was something I was supposed to do over this past week that I forgot about. Yeah, definitely appreciate the input from you guys on the ship layouts. I think we've got 2 suggestions at the moment. Like maybe what we can do is try to um, get some more input, consideration of those 2 at least, and of course if anybody has another one to submit, can consider that too. And try to pick one. Um, maybe by next session. I think the only thing I would say is um, the the one that you found, Ethan. It has just enough extra rooms that I'm not. I don't like. I don't know. It kind of. It almost feels like a larger ship than what you guys have. Um, it feels a little bit more like a like a cruiser-sized ship to me, or at least a larger frigate. 'Cause it's got a lot more crew space. I mean, you guys do have a decent bit, but
It's kind of along the
Yeah, I
same
was
lines.
struggling with finding the right side and like that match our rooms. A lot of the
Yeah.
free merchant ones on the subreddit have you like a barrack situation or like 2 bedrooms.
Right.
yeah.
Well, I'm gonna hop off, guys. Have a good night.
Oh, later.
Good night.
Right.
Let me go ahead and end the stream here also.
Yeah, good call.